In 1942, more than 78,000 American and Filipino troops laid down their weapons in the Philippines. One man didn't. As Japanese forces closed in, captivity meant starvation, disease, or worse. The Bataan Death March had already shown what surrender led to. While most soldiers were ordered to comply, a former mining engineer made a different call. He disappeared into the jungle. On the island of Mindanao, this officer understood something traditional commanders didn't. He had lived in the Philippines for years. He spoke local languages. He knew the mountains, rivers, and villages, and he knew the land could swallow entire armies if you worked with it instead of against it. With no reinforcements and no approval, he decided to continue the war on his own terms. He even gave himself a higher rank, not out of ego, but necessity. Guerrilla fighters don't rally behind uncertainty. Authority, even improvised, creates belief. Slowly, he began to build something no one expected. Escaped Allied soldiers, Filipino resistance fighters, farmers, couriers, scouts, anyone willing to resist. Using his engineering background, he constructed hidden supply caches, secret workshops, and underground communication networks. False paperwork and misinformation convinced the enemy they were facing a much larger force than actually existed. By the following year, what began as a handful of fugitives had grown into teens of thousands of fighters. They struck quickly: ambushes, sabotage, intelligence theft, then melted back into terrain the Japanese couldn't control. Roads vanished, patrols were hit and gone, infrastructure failed without explanation. The response was massive. Japan diverted around 50,000 troops to hunt one man in the army they couldn't see. For 3 years, they searched the jungles, mountains, and villages. They never broke the network. It was too decentralized, too local, too adaptable. There was no headquarters to destroy and no single supply line to cut. Every loss was absorbed. Every attack created 3 new problems. When U.S. naval intelligence finally reestablished contact in 1943, they expected to find scattered survivors barely holding on. Instead, they found a functioning shadow military, complete with intelligence operations, logistics, command structure, and battlefield control. That underground army pinned down tens of thousands of enemy troops who were supposed to be stopping the Allied return to the Philippines. Their reconnaissance directly supported the liberation campaign. The key wasn't brute force. It was design. He didn't fight like a conventional officer. He fought like an engineer, building systems, redundancies, and illusions that couldn't be dismantled. One refusal to surrender turned into a resistance force that made 50,000 enemy soldiers spend 3 years chasing ghosts.